Everyone, this is Anup. Today I'm starting this series called as AI Adventures. What I intend to do in this series is play with some AI tools, build something using on top of AI. And today what I'm going to do is see how we can use ChatGPT to how it can help in React coding. And I have actually checked out just a couple of days back. So I was just using my mobile, and I'm actually building this drag and drop component for the project Bruno. Quick promo. Bruno is a open source alternative to Postman. So one of the features that I intend to build is this drag and drop functionality where I can actually drag an item and drop it into a folder. And it's been slightly, it's not a easy thing, or it's not straightforward. Had to learn some things around React D&D. And when ChatGPT introduced, I was like, okay, let's see what Chat like. I actually struggled to find good examples of how to implement drag and drop. And I was blown away by the response that it gave, a good example of how to build it. So what I'm going to do is, let's actually try that once again. So I'm just going to say to ChatGPT that I want a React drag and drop on a tree view component, right? React drag and drop example, a tree view component. Let's okay, it's actually kind of putting a tree node, and then I was actually blown away when I saw it for the first time, it doing this, because it was hard to find good tutorials on how to do drag and drop in React, and especially on like tree node, right? Typically drag and drop examples would be that you'll have a Trello board kind of a setup where you drag an item from one box and put into another box, right? That's relatively straightforward. But if you want to implement something a bit more complicated on a tree node, it's not that straightforward, and I couldn't find that good examples. And I was blown away, by this example here. And damn, look at it. It's actually putting a tree view. It's actually writing that whole tree view component, which is going to use tree node and set tree, and this has a tree. I think I messed it up. I stopped somewhere. I think I should have just regenerate the response. Okay, it's coming up the tree node. Then it's not a good one. It was using a good tree example. I didn't like that. Let's do another one. It gave that was a much better example. Let's see. React drag and drop. How do I stop it? I cannot stop it. I'm just gonna say, just take this component. I think I have. Let me see. What is here? Is this the one which has? I think this was the past things. Okay, I'm just going to delete all of them. I'm just going to delete this one. Just going to start a new chat. Right? Just going to say React drag and drop example using React D&D on a tree view component. Right? Let's. I want a full example. I even wanted to write the whole tree. Tree view, right? It's doing a good tree node here. Yeah, it's starting with the tree view. That's good. It's doing the map, generating a good tree. Okay. Okay, so let's actually try this example out. So I already have a small React app that I have up and running here. In this, I have basically installed React DND. I just need to get this to work. Just give me a minute first. This is going to be 18.2.0. 18.2.0. Let me get this thing to work here. npmi. So this is a quick boilerplate, a simple React app using Next.js. We can try to do an example using this. I don't want to try it directly on the app itself because it's there's going to be a lot of code, and what we want to do here, at least what my goal here for this video is to basically learn how to implement drag and drop. And I have some I have already done this. So if I go to GitHub, go to use Bruno. Look at, so I already have a feature branch that I'm working on to implement drag and drop, and I did learn some I have some basic understanding of how to use React DND, and I implemented so where I've gotten so far is taking an element and just being able to drag it. I still haven't implemented drop. And I took, probably I think it took me a day or two to actually learn how to do this. And yeah, so let's try this using ChatGPT and see whether this example works. Right. So we have the npm install. What's happening? Okay, this is going to take some time. We can, I think, start writing some code here. So I'm just going to copy this code and go to VS Code, and okay, right now I'm just going to paste it here. So we are importing React from React, drag and drop, use drag React DND. I need to wrap this in the DND provider, so I'm just going to put that code here. And I will use it. Then we have a tree node, then you have a tree view, and it needs a tree, and the tree is going to have an ID, a text, and a level, right? And a move node functionality. Move node is actually here. Implement the logic to move node with the given ID to target. Okay, let's see. Let me go and look if this worked. Okay, so let me bring up the app. Starting at localhost 3000. So let's do localhost 3000. It's gonna take some time. Recently heard that Next did a rewrite using Rust on there. That was turbo pack or something. Yeah, this is a pain here. It takes a minute. Yeah, what do I talk about to kill time? I'm going to once hopefully I learn something from this tutorial from ChatGPT, and then I can move to my next step and figure out how to drop it. This is still, my God, it's still not loading yet. Okay, finally it took 72 seconds. Okay. let me bring up yeah, I hope it does not give me and throw me an error. I hope it. Okay, so we have this up and running. So great. So what I'm going to do next is I need to make implement a simple tree view first, right? So I know from my previous experience here, so I need to wrap. If I want to implement drag and drop, I need to first wrap this my component here. So I'm just going to do that. I also have Copilot, so you will see Copilot in action doing a lot of stuff for me here. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if Copilot can actually code something for us. Tree view, all right. Tree, okay. It knew that it needed to do the ID node level 2, level 3, 4, level 2, 5. Okay, when will this end? Okay. Now just let's see what just happened here, right? I actually didn't have to figure out how to write the tree view. It just looked at my code and it knew what to do, and it's a big I would say convenience, and help you code a lot faster. But I would say that it's dangerous in the hands of early coders, when you're early in your journey, because if GitHub Copilot is doing all those things, then you're not actually training your I do not know if this is the right advice, but I always felt that I didn't want any kind of a lot of ID smartness. I wanted to actually write code, and so that I'm able to assimilate or understand what it is, and if the AI is doing all of these things, there is a danger that you become too dependent. But I may be wrong there. I don't know. Okay, but we have a tree view here, so let's actually see if this thing works. It's gonna refresh, and it's giving us some error. So type must be defined. So there's a first error. This is saying in line number 9, right? So I have 9. I have type level, but I think the way that you define a type is something has been changed, in the API. So I think I can go back to my example how I'm doing the type. So if I look here, the type is at the top level, right? Not at the item level. So we can do that. So I'm just going to take a type here, and I'm just going to put it at the top level here. All right. Let me go back to the browser here. Okay, so we have stuff here. Now it's based on my level. I think I need to give some padding so that it's. But let me see if the drag and drop works or not. What is happening? Okay, let me first get the some kind of a tree view to work. So what I'm going to do is, so it has level 1, level 2, and level 3, right? So based on the level, I want to give some left padding. So this is a tree, and when you have a tree.map, you have a tree node which is going to take ID text level, and can drop is not equal to. It's a bit confusing. Okay. I'm just also going to give a padding for it. I'm just going to say that I want to have a padding left padding left, which is equal to level into 10. Yeah, let me just give a level into 10 and see what happens. Okay, there we have it. So let me just give it slightly, 220. Okay, now if I want to take 1 and drop it into 4, it didn't work. 2 into 4, not working. 4 into back to here, it's not working. Okay, this is technically not kind of a tree structure. The way that I would look at it is this is not a tree kind of node. Let me say what I mean by that. So if you look into the implementing, how I've implemented the collection items here. What am I doing here? Folder items dot length. Yeah, so basically this collection item, this is a collection item component. This is collection. So if I go to collection item, I can bring up the code. Yeah, so let's go here. Let's go to packages, Bruno app, source, components. Let's go to sidebar, go to collections, collection item, right? Let's look at the collection item component. So in this component, you have collection item, it receives an item, and then it can have more items. And we actually if there are request items, further down, we actually, it's a recursive rendering, right? I don't think that's happening here. So we have a tree node, but we give it an ID and you give it text and you give it a node. But a node can have further nodes, right? So, and the level is kind of decided by that. Yeah, so I already have that. I don't want to kind of probably take time and do it right now here, but the way that I would imagine the structure is going to be, instead of level 1, you could have, for instance, there level 1, but what I also want there is, let me see, this, yeah, so it's saying children here, you have node here, you have level 1, then I have, come on, GitHub Copilot, give me some suggestion. What I would have is, yeah, children, right? Children, and then, okay, ID 4, text node 4, level 2, which has children. There's ID 7, which has node 7, and then you have level 3, right? I think that's enough. So, okay, that's good, and that's good, right? So I have an object here, which I think I'm missing something here. This is going to be this, and then I have a tree here, which is going to be here, right? And all of these are actually, let's say, let me remove all of these things, right? These are all level 1s, and then you have level 2 and 3 here, right? Let's see how that rendering happened here. We have node 1, 2, and 3, but it's not printing node 4 and 7, right? So what we need to do in the tree node component is that you have a node. I'm just going to pass node is equal to node, right? So it's going to get one more thing called as node, and it's going to implement, it's going to put the text, and what it's going to do is that it's going to see, it's already doing all the work for me. God, this is really good. Now just look at that. Without GitHub Copilot, how long it would have taken, to figure out okay, child, and I've done React for like now 2018 to like 4 years. So I kind of see and really understand what this code is. But if you're learning React for the first time, and if it does things like this, that's my worry, that early beginners who use GitHub, Copilot, might not be a good idea. I should try using GitHub Copilot and learn an entirely new language or a framework, and see if that's making me, because ultimately, we want to be productive. We want to ship things to users sooner. It's a trade-off. Okay. So let me see what happened. Okay, so there we have it. And now let me see if I can drop a node. I'm dragging the whole thing. This should not be here. This should be actually in a, I would say I need to have it in a div block. Should be here, should come here, and this is a whole node by itself. And this node ends here, div, and then if I have more children, then they get displayed here. Okay, let's see that. Okay, there we have it. Now I can actually let me take node 7 and put it into node 4, right? Let me try to make that happen, which is that I want to take node 7 and put it into under node 1, right? So let's see. So you have drag, drop, just dragging. You have can drop, then you have drop, then you have this functionality called move node, and we have here the move node. So let's see. I'm just going to do a console.log. Just going to say ID, and I would say target ID, and let's see if that worked. Okay. I'm just going to take node 7 and move it under node 1, right? So that works. It gave 7 and 1. Or if I want to move it under 4, it's going to give me 7 and 4. So I want to move it under 7 and 1. Now all I have to do here is I have to write code which takes my, like right now this is a data structure, this is an array here, and it should be fairly easy to drop it back, right? So I need to use state to maintain this, and then manipulate the state and move. Once I know, once I know the ID and the target. I don't want to take time in this video. I think it's been long. So it should be straightforward to actually take your state and mutate your data to actually make this work, right? So what I'll do is that I already have to make this work for here, right? I'll do a video stream to show you how I'm actually implementing this and actually moving it here, because this code base already has all the state management built in. Yep. So it was I think pretty okay for the first for my first YouTube video where I'm showing my face. Let me go here. Yes, I think it was really, as you saw here with GitHub Copilot, it makes it, and I think I could code it faster using GitHub Copilot. Let me take that I have this. I'm going to say that I'm going to use a const. Okay, so look at that. It's giving me all of these things. This is my initial state. I got a tree, and I have to implement, take this tree and put that tree here. All right. Let me see if GitHub can code this part that's boring for me, right? Let me make sure that this stuff still works. That works. So I'm going to see if GitHub Copilot can implement the move logic for me, right? So this is a tree view, and this is the move node, and I want to move this logic outside this component to my main thing here so that I can actually access the tree. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give move node, also pass it into the into here, right? fine. And then going to come here and I'm going to get it in the tree view. I'm going to get this and the move node. I'm going to take that move node, and I'm also going to pass it to here, to the tree node. Just going to say, hey, if you want to move the node, it's that. And then it's going to come here, and I'm just going to get that here. And I'm going to take that and also, make sure that the recursion component works. Right, okay. Now I can delete this thing. And let's make sure that this still works, right? I'm just going to put console.target, and I'm going to put, let's say, A. Just want to make sure that this thing worked. So it's giving me some error. Argument name class move node. I think it already had in tree node. So okay, I'm just gonna remove that and move node. It's gonna call move node, and okay. Let me see. Great. Let's take node and move it. That's working. Great. If I want to take 2 and move it under 1, that 2 and move it under 1, that's not working for some reason. Not sure why I can't do this. That works, but why I cannot put it on node 1? For some reason I cannot put it on the same level. Okay, that's fine. Let's try to make this one work. So I'm just going back here, and the move node is here, and now I'm going to implement logic to move target node within the given ID. And okay, let's see if GitHub Copilot can do that code for me. Okay. See if it can do. You have the tree, you have the set tree. I think GitHub Copilot, come on. This is just a dummy implementation. New tree. Okay, so it's doing it. It takes a node, and if it finds that the ID that we want to remove is ID, I'm not sure. It should probably be the target ID. It's the target ID that we are trying to move, and then it's doing level. Let me see how levels are handled here. You have level here. So it's updating its level, right, to the new level. I don't know whichever that new level is. So the level should not be calculated like this. It should be calculated differently. So, which is fine. Let me see. So I have a node here. This should not be ID. This is correct, node ID, and then I need to move it to a where is target ID being used? This implementation. Why is this giving me an error? This is done. I need to close this. Okay, let me see what happened. Right, okay. Let me take this and move node to 7.1. That is not working, right? New tree. I think maybe the way that it's not assuming a nested structure. Okay, I'm just gonna delete the whole thing. Let me see if GitHub Copilot can do one more. Okay, so let's give a big node, then it's finding the target node. It's doing some levels, doing some indexes, doing some splicing, children.push, it's doing new tree. I think this might work. Let's see. Okay. It cannot do node dot level of undefined, right? So if it's doing if node if node tree.find node.id is equal to node.id. All of these examples are assuming, they're not assuming a structure like this. They are assuming a flat structure, right? That's the problem with this. So they basically are, flattening the whole tree, and but yeah, okay, I was at least not successfully able to get this to work, but as you saw here, it's giving us a good example. You are no longer going to Stack Overflow and searching for an example, right? So I think what is happening here is that GitHub Copilot is kind of replacing, or you no longer have to go and look for an example or search on the internet. I know the data structure that I have here, and I know how I would be able to, even without all of this, I would be able to write code to move it properly. But the good part here is that it's giving me an example, right? It helps me set, give me some context, or give me a cue on how I want to approach this problem. So that's really great. Okay, so it's been too long, so I'm going to end this. I'm going to do another stream where I actually implement the drop functionality to work and be able to drop something here and make it work. Okay, thanks everyone. I'd love feedback. If you have any feedback, please do put it in the comments. Thank you for your time.